What? No. Oh no, 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 that can't... No, I had the game paused! I paused the game! It was paused! No! Oh no, 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 you've gotta be kidding me! Oh, you gotta be kidding me. I was paused. I know I was paused. Why did that happen? Why did that happen? I was paused and I just died. I paused the game. I swear, I paused the game and I got the stream set up. I booted up the stream. And immediately it comes up saying you died. How is that? No, I had paused the game. How is that possible? What? No, I was so... No. Oh, this is not a good day, all of a sudden. I was looking forward to the session, and now I'm gonna have to travel. Oh, I've gotta travel, like, 12,000... I gotta travel... No! I've gotta travel 12... I've gotta travel 12,000 freaking blocks to get home! To get to my stuff! Oh no! Please tell me okay. I at least was smart enough to leave myself some food when I last visited my world spawn. Oh my gosh. Well, this is not how I expected to do this, but... Hello, travelers of the internet, including you, Kitty Cat. And welcome back to Guardian Studios. Or if you are new to the channel, then hey, welcome to y'all. My name's JGardo1, and I'm your host, your guide, and your humble bard into the worlds virtual and fantastical. Even when I find out that I apparently died when I wasn't looking. Oh yeah, Kitty Cat, it is a travel day. I was already gonna have to travel a few hundred blocks from where I had left off last session to where I needed to go, but this was not in the plan. I was not expecting to die at the start of the session. Hey, hello, Leo. Glad you can make it, my friend. Oh, that is just irritating. That is irritating. I would swear that I had paused the game before I started the stream, and what is going on with... That is just weird. That is just weird. I do not know why that happened. Why did that happen? I just don't get it. Seriously, I paused the game. I pushed start, or options, whatever the button is on PlayStation 4 now. I still call it the start button because that's what it's always been. The button on that side that pauses games. It's always been start. I don't know why they call it options now. But I paused the game. I set up the stream and I started the session. That should have been all, but apparently the game didn't stay paused. Apparently I didn't actually pause the game for some reason. That makes no sense. Anyway, so hey guys. It looks like this is gonna be a travel day, mostly. Oh my gosh. So yeah, Leo, welcome back to the channel, my friend. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing alright. Hope you're still here. Sorry about getting a little ranty there, guys, but I was just so... That is just so irritating. I finally start getting used to the fact that I can pause a single-player world. And that happens? Yeah. That'll teach me to trust single-player can be paused, right? Right. On the road again. I just can't wait to get on the road again. Yep. Perfect song for the situation, kitty cat. Thank you. Now I'm gonna have part of that song going through my head pretty much the whole session. Oh, man. I cannot believe this. The long cobblestone road. That's the project we've been working on for so long. And it is just... It has been taking a long time to get it to the point that it is. You can't see it, because it doesn't extend out to here. But we finally got out to the desert where we left our hot biome or warm biome animals, our warm cows, pigs, and chickens. And unfortunately, I got killed as I was setting up the stream. Yeah, next time I have to make doubly sure that the stream is actually paused. Thank you for the rules, Leo. Thank you for that. I appreciate it very, very much, my friend. Thank you. Thank you for that. Oh, I really hope everybody has been having a good day so far. My day has been pretty good. Been pretty productive. But this just puts a setback on my plan for this session. My plan for this session was originally to finish building out at least one piece of the cobble road out to where we needed to be at the desert. But I guess now it's going to be traveling to the cobble road and then seeing if we can finish the right side of the road. You may be asking, why are you only worrying about the right half of the right part of the road? Well, it's a 3-block wide cobblestone road that I've been building, in case you haven't seen it. And on each of the left and right sides, I plan on putting in rails that will be used for transporting items and animals and mobs and goods from point A to point B, wherever point B may be, along that rail line. That's going to be the Grand Gyros Railway. Yeah. Good one, kitty cat. Right as opposed to wrong. You're hilarious. You are hilarious. But in order to be able to do that, I need to be able to place a bunch of cobblestone to make the road. We're finally closing in on the end of where the road needs to travel to for me to be able to transport our warm biome mobs out of the desert. But on the other side of the coin, that's only one. I don't know. I'm losing track of what I'm saying. Basically, I'm only worrying about one piece of the road, one of the 3 parts of the road, because that's what I need to be able to place rails and make it so we can travel along the road, along the railway that it will become, digging out the rest of the tunnels that we need to dig, clearing out the rest of the blocks that are in the way of building the rest of the railway, and the ice boat highway that is going to be above it. I still can't believe. I really, really hope that my items don't despawn or anything because of what just happened. I can only assume. Thank you, kitty cat. Hope you can get your battery charged up. Hope you get your battery charged up quick. I can only assume that what must have happened to cause me to die is I must have started the stream and without even thinking about it, immediately unpaused the game so that I could get started. But I was still setting up something on the side for the stream. I was still making sure I had everything where I need it to be. And then, as I was doing that, when I wasn't able to hear anything on my headset, boom, when I wasn't focusing on what was going on the game, something snuck up on me and killed me. A husk, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Operator error, yeah. Yeah, that pretty much sums it up, kitty cat. Yeah, it seems like it might have been operator error. Either I unpaused as I started the stream, or I wasn't actually paused when I started setting the stream up. Either way, we've got to hope that my stuff is at the place where I died, which is at the end of the cobble railway, or at the end of the cobble road. Otherwise, we're gonna have to spend a session or two getting full diamond gear, and then getting it turned into netherite, which that's gonna take time. And I really didn't want to have to do that again anytime soon. But hey, if it happens, it happens. It's my own dang fault. I should have made absolutely sure that I wasn't gonna die before I took off. Yep. Well, hey, at least this way we get to stop in at our base, Winter Harbor, and make sure everything is still where it's supposed to be. I guess I should look on the bright side. We get to take a look at Winter Harbor again. It's been a while since I've actually stopped and looked at Winter Harbor. Ooh! Okay, this is good. This is good. There is an igloo here. Good. Because it's turning into nighttime, and I need to sleep so that I don't have to deal with any strays. I've already died once this session when I wasn't even paying attention. I do not need to die again. Ooh, speaking of... Oh-ho! Okay, that's something to think about coming back for. This particular igloo, which I'm going to get a screenshot. There we go. That particular igloo has villagers in the bottom. If we ever have something happen to our villagers and we need to get more villagers moved from somewhere to rebuild our villager population, an igloo is not a bad place to get some. I'm not sure what you're saying there, my friend. Welcome to the stream, by the way. If you're asking if you can join this world, I'm sorry, but this world is not able to be joined. It is strictly a solo world. Not just because that's what I prefer it to stay, but also because I can't turn it into a multiplayer world. So, sorry. But you are welcome to stay, hang out in the chat, toss around any gaming-related discussion you want to, as long as all messages are kept family-friendly. Alright, we are almost home, thankfully. Oy, it is never fun to have to travel back to a base from world spawn. This is part of why you always keep a bed with you, and you always make sure that you've got a respawn point set. Which, hey, if you're using a bed and traveling, you may want to bring multiple beds somehow. You may want to have like an ender chest with a bunch of beds in it, because otherwise, you place a bed, you break it, boom, and you die, boom, you're back at spawn again. That's what's happened to us. That's what just happened to me. I have been using a bed to sleep, to skip the night while I was traveling, while I was working on my Cobble Road project, and every time I slept, every other time I slept, I broke the bed so I could take it with me. I forgot to make sure that I had placed the bed down and interacted with it again to replace my respawn point. If you have one particular bed as a respawn point and you break it, bye-bye respawn point, you're headed back to world spawn the moment you die. Man, so many weird chunk generations around here. Look at this. These... I don't think this is supposed to be here in the middle of this icy river. I think some of the chunks loaded weird when the world generated in this area. That's not uncommon. That's not uncommon at all, but it's still visually shocking, I guess. I guess that's the best word I can come up with for it. I mean, look at that. Leaves are not supposed to spawn like that unless there's a tree here, which there isn't. The chunks clearly got bugged as they were generating. It's just a weird little thing that catches the eye and befuddles the mind. Catches the eye, befuddles the mind, and makes us Minecrafters pause and ask, huh? But at least in having to come back to base like this, I can set my respawn point back at the bed where it's supposed to be. Wait a minute. There's an igloo right here by my house? And it's a good one. It's one of the good igloos. It's one of the ones that has a dungeon underneath. Or laboratory, as I like to think of it. Huh. Okay, that's good to know. So, huh. I may have to put a couple of fresh villagers down there at some point to keep it stocked with guys that we can use as a backup if we ever don't have villagers for some reason. Snowdrift Station looks really good, doesn't it? I love that thing. I think that's one of my proudest builds on this whole world. That and the greenhouse. The greenhouse, Snowdrift Station, and our house are probably my proudest builds so far. I mean, look at this thing. Look at this design. I love it. I love this design for a greenhouse. A sheltered space to keep crops and to make sure that they can grow the way they're supposed to. I love it. Well, home sweet home. Better make sure my respawn point is set in here for now. And this time, when we leave, I'm taking some spare beds, and we are going to leave those beds wherever we place them, so that if we die again, we know we've got respawn point already set. That way I've slept through the night, let's take the bed with us. Good idea if you know you're going to be keeping yourself safe. Bad idea if you're not going to make sure that you're sheltered from the mobs. Far too many of them can catch you by surprise. And clearly, I can't just assume that I pause the game when I go to stream. I've got to make sure that my guy is protected. Alright, so I've got beds, I've got food. Not as much food as I would like to have, but beggars can't be choosers at this point. Well, let's head out and see if we can get my stuff back. If we stick to the long cobble road, we shouldn't have to worry about any hostility. So I'm just going to take a couple of beds, or I guess it's more than a couple, it's a few. 3 or more is a few. And the food that I've got, and we're going to head on to the cobble road and try to go get my stuff back. That's assuming that my stuff is there to be reacquired. It's assuming my stuff is there to be reacquired. If it's not for some reason, then we've got a big problem ahead of us. I wish that pop-up didn't come up. Not just because it's irritating to see that come in, but that's a bad sign. That's a bad sign. That particular pop-up carries a message that I do not like seeing when I'm streaming. Or when I'm playing a game. But hopefully it won't mean any kind of trouble. So, since we're traveling on this way, if you guys have any questions, any comments, feel free to drop them in the chat. Or leave them in the comments section after the stream. And if you guys enjoy the content, if you enjoy what I do, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and ring the bell. I do have to say, I'm glad that we've got this road. We've got what we have of the road already built so that I've got a smooth, straightaway path to get us back to where I died. Otherwise, I'd have to cross a whole bunch of rugged terrain, and who knows how much of an irritant that would be. Oh, there once was a ship that put to sea. The name of the ship was the Billy O.T. The wind blew up her boat, him down below, my bully boys blow. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. She'd not been 2 weeks from shore when down on her a white whale bore. The captain called all hands and swore he'd take that whale in tow. Well, soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. For 40 days. No, wait. Hang on. Before the boat had hit the water, the whale's tail came up and caught her. All hands to the side, harpooned and fought her when she dived down low. Well, soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. No line was cut, no whale was freed. The captain's mind was not of greed. He belonged to a whaleman's creed. She took that ship in tow. Well, soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. For 40 days or even more, the line went slack and tight once more. All boats were lost, there were only 4, and still the whale did go. Well, soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. As far as I've heard, the fight's still on, the line's not cut, and the whale's not gone. The wellerman makes his regular call to encourage the captain, crew, and all. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. Oh, I love singing. I do. I wish there were more songs that I could actually get away with singing. I think you guys can understand why there are some songs I can't sing. Even though I know these songs, I can't sing all of them. And it's not necessarily because I don't know all the lyrics properly, or I can't necessarily keep the beat, although that does happen with some songs if I'm not listening to them. Now, the problem is some songs, a lot of songs, most songs that have lyrics are copyrighted. And so, if you ever hear someone sing or play a song but they cut it off quick, it's usually because they're trying to avoid a copyright issue. And so, my way of avoiding it is I just don't sing any songs that I know are likely to get called out for. Now, if I know a song isn't going to get me called out for it, I got no problem with it if I know it. But I have to know it, and it has to be something that fits family friendly. So if anybody was curious about any of that, there you go. See, this is part of why I want to put rails on the long cobble road. I don't want to have to walk the whole distance every darn time. So, once the cobble road reaches where we need it to go out in the desert, which is where I originally built it to be able to travel to, we are going to make sure that there are rails on at least one side of the cobble road. Now, if it's just me going from point A to point B along the cobble road, I'm going to be building an ice boat highway on top of the Grand Gyros Railway that this road is going to become. If it's just me traveling, or if I'm just taking one mob with me, I can get in a boat. If I'm bringing a mob along, the mob into the boat with me, and then take off. They sell What? Hang on. What? They sell enchanted pickaxes? They can sell tools? Oh my gosh! You guys really did get an upgrade. Wandering traders didn't used to sell that. They didn't used to sell tools. I guess they do now. They must have added that with the Spring to Life update. Same update that added these leaf piles all over the ground. Ooh. Oh, listen to that crunch. Listen to the crunch of those leaves. I like that. I haven't actually had time to really stop and appreciate some of the stuff that the update brought. The new biome additions in the desert, I've already gotten a good look at. The cactus flowers. And I've seen the new mob variants, but I hadn't really done much with these leaf piles. That is so cool. They actually have an audible crunch when you walk over them. I like that. You hear it? I like that. Bravo, Mojang. Bravo, Mojang. They did good with that. I like that. I really do. I love that. It's funny, but the little things like sounds like that actually make the game more interesting and enjoyable to me. So hey, props to Mojang. Props to the Mojang and the development team of this game. They did good. They did good with that. I actually hadn't heard how they crunch when you walk over them. It's like you're walking over actual leaves. Smooth move. Well done. Cool, there's a chest here. I can go ahead and drop that stuff off and keep going. We're almost halfway to where we need to go now. That's good. Hopefully we get to where we need to go before we run out of beds. I've got 2 beds and I'm not breaking them this time. So I can skip 2 nights without running out of beds. Once I run out of beds, I've got to just keep running. Because I've got to get to my stuff. I've got to get it back if it's still there. If it's not, for whatever reason, I'm going to be ticked. And at which point I'll probably be better off just going bye-bye and letting myself respawn wherever my last respawn point is. But if my stuff is there, we need to get it all, or at least get all my tools and armor, equip it, gather up everything else that we can, and get back to work. If it's gone, then I'm marching myself back home. Either marching myself home, or just going and letting my respawn point cover some of the distance. I don't want to have to go that route, but it may end up happening. Who knows? I sure don't. But one thing I definitely do know is that once we've got the cobblestone road itself built enough that we can place rails on this side, we are going to do so, and we're going to do it all the way to the end of the road in the desert so that I can ride those rails back and forth between point A and point B, between home and the end of the line, breaking out blocks until we've got 3x3 tunnel the whole way through any mountain or anything that's in the way. A full 3-block wide road, preferably with some kind of walls at the sides. And then after that, we're going to be knocking out room. We're going to be making room above for the ice boat highway I mentioned before. Because that's going to be my means of traveling from point A to point B if it's just me. Or if it's just one mob that I'm transporting. Not that I ever expect that to be the case. I don't expect to transport mobs by ice boat. I expect that if I'm transporting mobs at any time, it's going to be by rail. Because that's the simplest and most convenient way to do that. To transport a mob. And that does mean we're going to have to place down powered rails and redstone torches as we go when we go to put in the rails. So, we're going to need some gold. I'm going to have to hope that we either have enough gold or can get enough gold to do the job. It's probably going to be a matter of getting enough gold. But considering we do have access to the Nether, I don't expect that to be too difficult a task. Getting the gold, I mean. Oh, flipperty-doo. It's nighttime. Second bed. Got one more bed. That's one more night we can skip. Let's hope we don't end up having to use it. Or if we do, that ends up being all we have to do. The last one we have to use. I'm gonna start jump running. For anybody who doesn't know, you actually move faster if you jump as you run. And you can just hold down the button for jumping in order to keep jumping as you run. It actually surprised me that that's doable when I first learned you could do it. But yeah, look at how fast the number changes when I'm just running. Now look at it when I jump run. Jump running is definitely faster. I just haven't been doing it because jump running, I think, burns up your hunger a little faster, so. Because the more you jump and run, the more of your stamina, your hunger, goes away. Boing, 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 boing. We're almost at the point. We're almost at the round section. Just another 1,500 blocks, I think, and we'll reach what's basically going to be a roundabout for the rail line. You know, I was just having a thought. I've seen videos where it's become possible, according to those videos, to increase how fast you can travel by minecart on rails and powered rails. Has that actually been implemented in vanilla Minecraft, or are those people playing around with modded? Because I can't be sure. Sometimes mods blend seamlessly, perfectly into the game, so you can't tell for sure if it is a mod or if it's something that's actually been added to the game. And that's the situation for me with that particular tidbit. So if anybody knows, do we actually have the ability to customize how fast powered rails can make a minecart travel on a rail line? Let me know, please, because I would love to know. If it is possible to speed them up in vanilla, then I'd like to know that and how to do it. If it's something where you can only do it with commands or in creative, or with a quote-unquote cheat or something, I still would like to know. For anybody who's new to this world and to the stream and all that, and wondering, no, this is not modded in any way. This world is completely vanilla. We have not, and I don't plan on adding any add-ons or anything like that to this world. I might eventually change around the resource pack if I find one that is nice, but I doubt that's going to happen. Okay, we are closing in on the desert. And I want to say coincidentally, but I don't think that's the right phrase for this. As a result of that, we are also almost at the roundabout. After the roundabout, we have to travel through part of a desert, and then through a mangrove swamp. That last session, we spent some time clearing out the trees along the path of the rail line, or of the cobble road, in order to be able to make more progress out to where we were going. But on the other side of that mangrove swamp is another section of desert, which is where we died. So, if we can get there and our stuff is there, we are going to collect it all, equip our gear, and we're going to get back to work. If not, we are going to have to make our way home, because we are going to have a lot of trading and a lot of mining to do. I just really, really hope my stuff is there. Also, if our stuff is gone, we are going to make 2 sets of armor and tools. That way we have a backup set in case something happens again. Which, knowing me, is very much possible. Mistakes can and will be made from time to time. That, unfortunately, is a fact. I know I said earlier I could jump run the rest of the route, but I've determined I'm not going to do that. Okay, so I was smart... Okay, I was smart enough to leave an under chest here, but I didn't leave a bed. Come on, J-Guard. Come on. Tempted to take my bow so that I've got it, but the other part of me says just take a little food of the kind that you had, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to take a couple of pork chops so that I can pick up the pork chops that I had when I died and have them seamlessly slip into my inventory. Hello, frogs. Do frogs take fall damage in Minecraft? I honestly don't know. I haven't spent that much time experimenting with Minecraft frogs. Another question. Do real frogs actually sound like that? Like that ribbit that we just heard the one make? Did they really sound like that? Because I can never tell for sure. We're almost there. Almost there. Okay, now we're gonna jump run because I am getting eager and excited to be able to get my stuff back. Assuming that is that it's still there. I really hope that it's still there. It's just up ahead. That little hill right up ahead should be right at where I died. Either way, it is not far. It is not far now. Please let my stuff be there. Hey, dinos. Glad you can make it, my friend. So I paused my game when I went to set up my stream. But then once I started the stream, the first thing I saw when I actually looked up was, you died. JGuard01 was slain by a husk. Okay, so it's through this tunnel up ahead. Yeah, I died to a husk when I should have been paused. Turns out, I must not have been paused anymore at that point. I can only assume that I unpaused when I came out of the setup when I started the stream, or I hadn't actually paused when I thought I had. So those are the two possibilities. Either it didn't... Either I hit start or options and it didn't pause the game because it didn't register it, or I unpaused as I was finishing getting the stream going and subsequently got attacked by a husk. Either way, I died here in the desert, and now I've got to hope that I can get my stuff back. I was out in the open at the point, so my stuff will have scattered all over the place, but it took me a minute to look up and see what had happened. Nice! That's cool, dinos! That's cool. Coming back to old worlds always feels weird. I can tell you that. It always feels weird to come back to an old world. There's my stuff. My stuff is still here. Gotta pick it up and pick it up fast. Except my armor is not here. My armor, my shield, my sword. Oh no. Oh jeez! Did you just see that? Okay. I know what just happened. Yep. Crud. Well, at least I got my the rest of my tools back. But yeah, the husk must have picked up my armor. For anybody who didn't know, and I doubt there are many, but for anybody who didn't know, yes, zombies, husks, skeletons, they have a chance of being able to pick up your items if they're on the ground. So, yeah, I just lost a bunch of stuff. I just lost my armor. I just lost my shield, my sword, and I don't see a husk anywhere nearby. No! My stuff! Look! There it is! That's... No. Yes! My stuff! That's some of my stuff! What? Ha! My sword! My book... My... How... What? How is this here? What was this doing here? Was it this guy? What was my stuff doing there? What was my stuff doing there? And where's the rest of it? I wasn't... What? What the blinking heck just happened? Alright, Dinos, thank you for pointing out that my stuff was there. What the blinking heck just happened, though? How was my stuff there? Did that drown have something to do with it? Did... Oh... Wait. Could the husk have gone in here and... drowned? Is that what happened? It went in there and turned into a drowned? Can husks do that? I know zombies, if they hang out in water too long, they drown and turn into drowned. My gosh, if that... That's my shield! My shield! Oh my gosh, what in the world? How did some of my stuff end up all the way over here? It was multiple mobs. It must have been multiple mobs. Multiple mobs picked up my stuff after I died. And they took off with whatever they grabbed. Which means there might be more nearby. Oh my gosh, please tell me that... Oh, can I get my boots back? My chest plate? Please tell me I can. Please tell me that there's somewhere nearby. Oh my gosh. That would be such a relief. That would be such a relief. Okay. Some of my stuff was over here. Some was over there. Where is the rest? There was still... I'm still missing my boots and my chest plate. If I can find those, I'm not going to be at all mad about any of this. Oh, come on. Are you telling me that that's what I have to lose? I lost my really good boots? Oh, come on, game. Don't lag out on me now. Please. Please. I find a bunch of my stuff, and the game wants to lag up on me. I just found out some of my stuff could still be intact around here. I don't have my torches back. That's sad, but not too big of a deal. That's just coal or charcoal and sticks, but I would like to get the rest of my other stuff back. My gosh, though, that was weird. That is so weird. There must have been multiple mobs that picked up some of my gear and took off. That's why some of it was over there and some was there in the water. I think that's all we're getting back, though. It's just what we just found. But still, that's more than I was expecting to recover. Hey there, Ryan. Welcome to my recovery. Uh-oh. Oh man, stuff is hitting hard again now that I don't have my chest plate and boots. Man. Yeah, apparently when I started the session, either I hadn't paused when I thought I had before I started the stream, or got busy setting it up, or or I bumped the pause button when I finally got the stream going, but I got killed by a husk, and apparently some of the mobs that were around at the time helped kill me and stole my gear. But I just got back from World Spawn, recovered a bunch of my gear, even some stuff I didn't think I'd find again, like my shield, my leggings, and my helmet, but I've lost my chest plate and my boots, and I don't think I'm getting them back. It's okay. It happens. It happens. I wish it hadn't, but it did. It just means I've got to be way more careful about making sure my game is paused and making sure I've got a respawn point set up. That's where I made my mistake. That made me have to come all the way back from World Spawn. I didn't make sure that I had a respawn point set up. I lost a couple of items for sure. I lost my torches, I lost my planks, but those particular items are not too big a deal. But with stuff hitting as hard as it does now without my chest plate and boots, I do think we're going to place what cobblestone I've got with me, and then we're going to run home. Oh, hey, here's some torches. Nice. And there's even a little bit of coal in here. Okay, that's cool. Alright, let's get this stuff off of me that I don't need. I'm going to put this leather tunic on so that I've got some kind of chest piece. It's garbage compared to what I had, but it's something. With that, we're pretty much recovered in terms of most of everything that we lost, but yeah, stuff is going to hit a lot harder without my chest plate and my boots, so we're going to place what cobblestone we've got, and then we're going to head for home. There's just no point in being out here when we don't have the cobble and we don't have the armor to be able to survive. If a couple of shots from a skeleton can knock me down to almost half health, which you guys saw, that's what happened just a minute ago, it's better to just go home and recover there. We've got the cobble road almost finished. We've got most of our gear back. The only equipment we have to replace, whoops, is my chest plate and my boots. And while we're replacing those, we can take the time to make backup armor so that if nothing like this can happen in this way again. If we die again, I've got backup armor that I can throw on to be able to handle coming back and trying to get my stuff. But this is also a learning experience. I have to make sure I'm either not in the world yet, or I have most definitely paused the game before I decide to set up a stream. It really seems like I'm going to have to treat getting on the world, getting on stream, and off stream like I normally did before we could pause the game. Because if you push the button but it doesn't register, you're doomed. Yeah. I just basically have to play it careful, like I was doing. When I'm setting up a stream, I have to treat it as if I still can't pause. In other words, either have myself in a shelter where nothing can attack me, or don't have the world loaded up yet. That's all it means. Which is not too big of a problem. Why do I have sand still in my inventory? I thought I dropped that off in a chest. That must be a stack that I didn't put in the chest. I can fix that easily. Gather up the beds we placed as I go. I also think that on our way back out here from the from Winter Harbor next time, we're probably going to start placing rails down so that I can start figuring out where I need to put powered rails and redstone torches, and so that we can be working on that while carrying cobblestone to where we need to go. What's up, Ryan? You said guess what? I'm guessing what? What's up? I'm guessing that something good's happened. I really, really wish that I had had backup armor already. Oh, wow, nice! Nice! Cool! Oh, I bet that world looks awesome with ray tracing. I bet it looks awesome with ray tracing. Good on you, my friend. Good on you. Oh, got some items here I need to scoop up. I can dump those into a chest on my way. Sure, you can show me a little later. Well, maybe. Maybe. May not be tonight. May not be tonight. Might be another time. But yeah, I would love to see what your world looks like with ray tracing. What your London world looks like with ray tracing. I would love to see it. Alright. If I don't respond for whatever reason, please assume that I'm busy at the time. Basically, I'll let you know when you can... I'll let you know when I'm able to take a look. That's probably the simpler, easier way to go. Man, I'm glad that all I lost was the chest plate and the boots. I'm pretty sure I have a guy that sells boots. Possibly one that also sells a chest plate. I don't know that for sure. But if I do have guys that sell those parts, those armor pieces, this won't be too bad of a setback. I will have to go mining in the nether in order to get more ancient debris, to get more netherite, to make diamond armor into netherite armor. But this is part of why I set up a trading hall. Because this way, if I've got a trading hall, I know I can replace lost equipment. It'll still be a tedious pain in the neck to have to do it, but at least I'll have what I need to be able to do it. You know? That's the big deal. That's the important thing. So now I've got another reason to hang out at the iron farm when I get home. That's probably part of what I'm going to be doing between sessions next. I'm going to be sitting my guy in the iron farm, letting it accumulate as much iron as it can, so that I can use some of it for trading to get my equipment back, to rebuild my lost equipment. And also so that I have some that I can put towards the rails to turn this cobble road into the Grand Gyros Railway. It is just irritating to lose any stuff at all. I am relieved that I only lost 2 pieces of armor. And one of them is the cheapest one to rebuild, if I want to craft it myself. But at the same time, it is a tedious pain in the neck to re-enchant all that equipment. To re-enchant any of my equipment takes up a lot of emeralds, a good amount of time, and a bunch of trips to the skeleton grinder. Nice thing is, the skeleton grinder is very efficient if I just sit there, let the skeletons pool in the kill chamber, and then go to town on them. So, it's not as if I can't get my levels back and do the enchanting stuff pretty easy. Now, having an iron farm means I can definitely have an anvil to do that part. But, still, I am glad that I was able to get my tools and most of my armor back. The shield I wouldn't have cared so much about. The only thing it gets for enchantments is mending. Might put unbreaking on it at some point, but mending is the bare minimum necessary for a decent shield. And a shield is cheap. It's just wood and an iron ingot. Not too big a deal. Going to the right Y level and mining for a couple of minutes can get you that. Easy. What would have ticked me off would have been losing my armor and my tools. Because then I'd have had to rebuild everything. So now, I'm glad I only have to rebuild 2 armor pieces. I'm just annoyed that we died in the first place. In a situation where I should not have died at all. I'm still questioning, how did that happen? Did I unpause when I started the stream without realizing it? I don't think so. I have a feeling that what happened is I thought I paused the game. I brought up the thing to set up the stream, and then it wasn't actually paused. Hello! Hello, Dice. That's Scout, right? Remind me, Dice. That's you, right, Scout? That's what I thought. So, yeah. I've said it a couple of times, but I'll go ahead and tell you again. I went to set up this session. I would swear that I paused the game. But after I set up the session and hit start, or hit start broadcasting, I turn away to set something up while it's booting up the stream, and then I glance at the screen and I see, you died, Jgardo1 was killed by a husk. And all I can think is that I must not have actually paused the game when I was setting up the stream. That would also explain why... That would also explain why it looked like there was a creeper hole nearby. A creeper must have tried to blow me up. And then a husk finished the job. And my having not been paused when I was setting up the stream would explain why, when I finally got there, a couple of the items that were on the ground that were definitely mine poofed out of existence before I could pick them up. It is very obvious to me now, thinking about it, that I hadn't paused when I thought I had. And as I was setting up the stream, I was attacked, and I died. So I'm going to be going back to treating it as if I can't pause when I'm setting up a stream. But I had been making the mistake of not leaving my bed where I placed it when I slept while I was traveling and building this cobble road. During last session, I made the mistake of sleeping in a bed a couple of times, and then I broke it and took it with me, and that was a mistake, because since I didn't have a bed nearby that was marked as my respawn point, I was shot all the way back to world spawn and had to race to my spawn base. And then I traveled all the way from there to Winter Harbor, my base, my main base, and then from there took the cobble road to where I died. I was not able to recover my chest plate or my boots, but everything else of importance, my tools, my shield, my leggings, my helmet, I was able to get those back. And the funny thing was, some of those things were scattered way further than they would be if I had died. So I can only conclude that there must have been a couple of mobs that picked up some of my stuff and took it with them when I died, when they killed me. So I am very fortunate that I didn't lose everything. But I must have been dead for a couple of minutes while I was setting up the stream, because we had only just barely been there for like a minute before what I hadn't picked up, that hadn't been dropped by mobs, poofed. Yeah. Well, most of my netherite. Like I said, we no longer have my chest plate, and my boots are gone too. Yes, I am, Geeky. Geeky Gamer, welcome to the stream, or welcome back if you are returning. And yes, indeed, I am at 1K, and I am happy for it, and I am grateful, I have to say again, to all the subscribers for pushing me to 1K. Yep, shoeless and shirtless. That's basically our situation, Scout. It's annoying that those are the bits we lost, especially the chest plate and the boot. Well, no. What's especially annoying to have lost is the boots. Because that is the piece of armor that is the most tedious to enchant out of anything we could have lost, except maybe the helmet. The helmet and the boots are the most tedious items to re-enchant when having to build them. Or having to rebuild them. So, the fact that that's the bit we lost, admittedly, is very annoying. And losing the chest plate means we're going to take a lot more damage if we get hit by anything. Because not only are we now short half our armor, more than half our armor now that I look at it, we're short 2 doses of Protection 4. And Protection 4, that's a stacking boost of protection. Up to a certain point, I think. I think it caps at a certain percentage of protection. But it may be that it all stacks. I don't know that for a fact, either way. What I do know is we are now short 2 pieces of armor that provided protection, and we are less than half max armor now. So, yeah. I have decided we are going to go home. And once we get home, our focus is shifting from the cobble road and its construction and transformation into the Grand Gyros Railway to instead focusing on rebuilding our chest plate and our boots, and then building up a new backup set of armor to keep in our ender chest. It'll mean less room in our ender chest, but it'll also mean that if we die again, I don't necessarily have to worry about not having any equipment if I can't get back to my stuff before it despawns. Or if it gets stolen by a monster. Possibly. So that's going to be the plan, I think, at this point. Get home. Unload anything we don't need to have on us. And then next session or next couple of sessions we'll be working on rebuilding our power. Relief, recovery, and reform. Huh. That's an interesting way to look at it. That's an interesting way to put it. Thank you for that, Scout. Yeah, that's basically what's going to happen. We're going to have to go through a brief period of recovery. And rebuilding. Rebuilding ourselves. Rebuilding our lost armor. You want to see something that I just found out? I don't know if anybody else knew about this that's watching. Take a look at what this guy sells. An Unbreaking 3 pickaxe. I know it's just iron, but it's Unbreaking 3. A pickaxe with Unbreaking 3. And this is a wandering trader that's selling it. It's the Spring to Life update. It has to be. With the Spring to Life update, they made it so that wandering traders are much more useful. I didn't know that they were doing that with this update, but they did. So now you definitely want to make sure that you check a wandering trader's offer before you kill him. I mean, if you're going to kill him. If you see a wandering trader, now that they've done the Spring to Life update, you definitely want to double check what he is offering. Because he might just be selling a good deal on an enchanted tool. Well, if they were there pre-update, then it doesn't matter. If they were pre-update, then they're not going to have any good... They're not going to have those kinds of traits. But if they were spawned in after the update was downloaded, then check their trades. Because they might have something good. They might actually have something you need. It's like Enyo was saying the other day in the chat of one of my streams. Wandering Traders being upgraded like that just made a lot of different things easier for Minecrafters, including flat world survival is now much simpler and more viable because now we can get all the different sapling types, or at least most of the sapling types, from Wandering Traders. So all you gotta do is make it so that there's space for a Wandering Trader to spawn in and somehow have the emeralds to be able to trade with him for the saplings that you need for the wood type you don't have, if you don't have a wood type. Ow. Okay, I just remembered, no boots, no feather falling. That's another reason to be annoyed that I lost my boots, of all things. Out of everything I could have lost, losing my boots, losing either my boots or my helmet would have been the most annoying things to have lost. Not only are they the hardest to enchant, but they also have some of the most useful enchantments. Helmet makes it so you can breathe underwater for longer. Makes it so that you can mine in water faster. The boots make it so you can move through the water faster, and make it so that you don't have to take as much damage if you fall. I don't have any boots now. I'm gonna have to go back to my leather ones until we get the new boots made. Irritating. But again, at least we didn't lose anything other than those 2 pieces of armor. So, I will probably be retitling the session. However, I may not, because Arrival still kind of fits. We arrived just in time to reclaim my stuff after I died accidentally. And this is a very good learning opportunity. Be very careful about setting up stream. Make sure I'm either not in the world, that I'm somewhere sheltered, or at the very least that the game has actually paused before starting the session. Leaf litters are burnable. Interesting. Are you talking like you can set them on fire? Or are you saying you can use them in a furnace? Or is it both? Because either way, that's cool. Either way, it's cool. But I am curious. Both. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I mean, it's leaves. Leaves are very much a burnable item in real life, so it makes sense that in-game they would also be burnable and usable as fuel. I'm sure it's a very weak fuel, but it's still a fuel. Means that now you don't have to waste logs cooking, or sticks cooking up logs to make charcoal. You don't have to use other logs or sticks as fuel if you've spawned in a biome that has leaf litters all over the ground. You can just scoop up a bunch of leaves, shove them in the furnace, pop in the logs, and be like, maketh charcoal! Or you can scoop up the leaves and stick them in a furnace and cook your food. Now, if only we had more variety of food for that to be used to cook. I'm kidding. Half kidding. It would be nice if we had more options in terms of food. And if they would actually let us see saturation from our food. Thank you, cave sound. That was weird. Why did I have to make that cave sound in my ear? That was really weird. I had just entered the cave when it did that. You don't think saturation is part of Bedrock? Well, I mean, I guess that would... Yeah, I guess with the way the healing system works on Bedrock, that would make sense. I mean, if you look at Bedrock compared to Java, Java players heal much faster. And part of that is because of the saturation system. Well, I kind of wish we did have saturation on Bedrock, but at the same time, I guess it doesn't really matter either way. I do wish that healing from filling up your hunger was quicker, though. Half the time I feel like I need to be carrying golden apples with me so I can pop one and get regeneration if I want to heal. Because I've looked, I've seen, I've compared. Java Edition heals the player a lot faster than Bedrock Edition when hunger is triggered to do healing. When you're healing from your wounds in Bedrock Edition, you have to wait longer before it kicks in. And it takes longer to fully heal you. And there's no guarantee that it will fully heal you before it stops trying. I don't like that. I don't like that. But it is what it is, I guess. Anyway, here we are, back at home once again. Do I have any room to put these beds away? Yes, I do. Good, because I just want to get them out of my inventory right now. I'm not going to need them because I'm going to be going straight to my house. I'm going to go put my guy in his bedroom. And I'm going to go ahead and say thank you, everybody, so much for watching. Bit of a weird stream, having to race to get my stuff back from so very far away. But I hope you guys were able to enjoy the stream. If you did enjoy the stream, please be sure to leave a like and a comment on the session. It would be really, really good if you could. Make sure to subscribe if you have not already done so. And once you do, make sure to ring the bell so that you don't miss the next stream or video when they go live. Also, make sure to check out the About page for links to other pages with more content from yours truly. And, most important of all, share the channel with your friends if you think they might enjoy the content as well. With that all being said, thank you again for watching. I am JGuard01, your guide, bard, and humble host into the worlds virtual and fantastical. And I will see you all next time, right here on Guardian Studios. Bye!